Hello and welcome back to England. So, last time I just realised in a fit of stupidity that negative prestige actually breaks personal unions, so I should probably get a positive ASAP. And the best way of doing that is, well, a combination of colonization and war, I think. Portugal still has apparently enough range to actually colonize the Caribbean, which of course sucks, but not much I can do about that. We're also going to exterminate them, and we're most likely going to be able to do that, I guess, during the next war. Or two wars, potentially, since they're not colonizing again. We'll simply have to wait and see. Our goal will be to actually get the Caribbean Colonial nation up and running right now, so that I don't have to call St. Kitts here. We'll have to see how that plan works out, but I'm pretty sure it should work out, or it should work wonders. We'll simply have to wait and see. The truce with the Portuguese will run out in 5 years, or 4.5, so potentially I could try and snatch that colony right before it becomes a full-fledged, colony, but once again, that's rather doubtful. I don't think it will work to my advantage here. We also decided to start the annexation of Connaught, and the annexation of Scotland is almost done. Slowly but surely inching forward thanks to my terrible diplomatic reputation. But other than that, we did win the war against Portugal, Castile and Aragon, and there will probably be some more colonization / securing the coastline wars. We'll simply have to wait and see how it plays out. For now, however, we'll just continue with what we have been doing, and hopefully I can cool the provinces here without too many problems. We'll see how it goes. There is one question here: should I invest in catching up the diplomacy tech, or should I try and continue with additional diplomats, improved shipyards, experienced diplomats once again? I think I actually want to try and get to experienced diplomats to once again get. I can get additional here, which will allow me to have more diplomatic relations, of course. But I can also then start with adding marriages to a lot of the countries that I currently don't have with. And of course this brings it up to 8, which means also I can have more vassals. And as such, I do have a lot of potential things here I can do. Also some ally with the Holy Roman Emperor, at least I was last time I checked. Still am. I could potentially try and drag them into war, get involved in a war with them, and then vassalize some of the member states as a cheap and dirty way to do that. But first things first, we are going to start the annexation here of Galicia as well. Just get every one of the smaller states here done, more or less, added. So there we go. We will also, of course, get everything here sorted out. The only thing I'm kind of worried about here is I honestly have no idea if they have changed it so that I believe at least before there were no issues whatsoever in terms of how should I put this? Vassals and unions didn't actually get negatives on each other, and it doesn't actually seem like it still isn't the case apparently. Good. So they don't. The union I have with France doesn't actually suffer from me integrating in this case Scotland and potentially someone else as well. Don't want to keep these caravels in barks. I don't think so. For now, we don't really need any trade power, so to speak. It works. We work very very well without it, more or less. So it's perfectly alright. We don't need these guys either. And I have actually sent one army over here because there was a 10,000 men revolt on St. Kitts. Let's just put that into perspective. A newly formed colony had more rebels than Alentejo down here, which kind of surprises me, to be perfectly honest, but that's fine. We're going to deal with all rebels and just continue with what we currently have been doing. Andalusia, 15,000 men. I guess we're actually going to get there ahead of them and see if we can actually get rid of them in a fairly good manner. We're back in positive prestige as well, thanks to, of course, the colony building. And all I really need now is Barjones and Tortuga to complete, and then we have a new colonial nation in the Caribbean. I don't have to worry about St. Kitts anymore, things like that. So what I think we're actually going to do is just continue to colonize the area over here. Of course, up to the coast will help with Caribbean, things like that. But for the time being, I'm not too concerned about Portugal. We will deal with them sooner or later, so it's not really a big problem. And it's 2.5 years until I can declare war on them. So hopefully I can snatch that colony before it becomes theirs, but we'll wait and see how it works out. For now, however, we'll just have to continue fighting with what we have. We'll see how it all works out. Unfortunately, as you can see, the Portuguese patriots rose up in Bermuda, and the army that I had to defend it was, well, they weren't good enough, so to speak. We also have some Protestant zealots, a lot of them, from Frisia. I have no idea if I can actually murder these guys, because of the fact that, well, they are from... Actually, I proved that they're coming from East Frisia here, so I should be able to murder them, but unfortunately I can't. Which is horrible, which is annoying, and all that shenanigans. But what I think we'll do here is actually send these 9,000 men to try and deal with the rebels up north, and hopefully they can, but once again, that's kind of doubtful, really. But I can always hope. I guess I'll just stick with having 8,000 men here, and hopefully once Galicia is annexed, I don't have to rely on anyone else. Also, the fact that Morocco is actually taking Ceuta here, I think actually that means that potentially I can attempt a vassalizing Portugal. It's doubtful, of course, and it's actually more doubtful that I would want to do that, since I won't be able to annex them in about an age, but having a colonial nation like Portugal as your vassal could potentially be rather useful. But once again, I'm a little bit concerned if it will be as useful as I think it is. We'll just have to wait and see here. I am in positive prestige, so Dudley here is going to be marching potentially to his death. James here, I don't really like having a weak heir, so let's see here if he's a little bit of a better general than his father, so we're going to put him in charge of the suppression unit here. Once again, we do have quite a bit of issues when it comes to manpower, so I think this is potentially, once again, a very idiotic thing to do. But I'm going to accept the demands of the Portuguese rebels just to get them off my back here. The coring is slowly but surely happening here. Still 4 years away, so I don't really want to fight Portugal over just one colony, when it will be put into whatever colony nation actually spawns in this area. So we will not be attacking Portugal. We'll just be trying to make sure that our country stays stable and that we can, I guess, keep the French in the fold. We'll see if my plan actually works at all. I also have my 3 loans, and right now it's not looking good in terms of being able to pay them, especially if I have to hire mercenaries to get rid of the rebels here. But we'll see. I should be able to make something work. Admin Tech 9 has been taking the site. With that, we get an increase in production efficiency by 10%. Should help my economy a tiny little bit, but admittedly not much. We are going to repay at least 1 loan here. We have to see how it goes with the other 2. We have 1.5 years to get the money, but with 7 a month, that is most likely just going to be 1 loan, and that is if I'm lucky. So we'll have to see if I can actually make something work with what we have. And as you can see, at this rate, the 2 other colonies here will be done very soon, which means that I will get Saint-Kitts off my hands, which will, of course, help quite a bit on the overextension issue. So things are actually looking quite a lot better at this point. We're back at, or due to the agreeing of terms with the, what's their name? With the Portuguese rebels, we unfortunately got back into negative prestige, which is a little bit bad, but not much we can do about that. This kind of pisses me off too with the rebel system. You kill 700, we lost 1,000. It doesn't really make sense. It's a minor force here who is getting... They're basically just running. They're not fighting, they're running. How they are managing to kill this many people with the backs turned is a mystery to me. But we're going to place this army in Derby as a protection army to get what we flip to culture. Hopefully it will limit the amount of revolts. But for now, we'll wait until the 2 colonies are done. And with them, we will, of course, get... hopefully, we'll be getting the Caribbean colonial nation going. Let's see here if we can make that work. Barahona, and with that, we get the English West Indies. And St. Kitts here is a part of that, which is glorious for us, because that means that I don't actually have to focus on doing anything with them. You could argue that a lot of colonial nations would actually be bad for you, and you would be right to do so. Especially in my position here, where I actually have low prestige. A lot of colonial nations would give you events where you can either give them small liberty to desire by, well, choosing the wrong guy, or taking a prestige hit of 5%, which is of course horrible as well. But we'll have to see here. I'm no interest in increasing tariffs with any of these. You wouldn't. Let's face it. The increase in income would be minimal, so there's no good reason to actually do that. Of course, I'm a little bit concerned here if there will be a real risk if I leave with these guys, and of course it will be. I'm a little bit unsure if the West Indies can actually handle that on their own, but I can always hope. So we'll wait and see here. For now, we'll just, once again, we'll continue with what we've been doing, and hopefully we can make something work out of that, but we'll see. I'll still be waiting for the course to be done, and then we'll probably start, once again, picking on Portugal. We've taken the idea here, improve shipyards, which gives a decrease in shipbuilding time by 10%, which is great. We also get, with that, the English idea, the Navigation Acts, which gives light ship compatibility plus 10%, and national trade income modifier plus 10%. All of these is actually fairly good. The next one will also be great, English Bill of Rights, real risk -1. We also have discipline, and then naval attrition bonuses, so all of those are good. What I kind of have to consider right now is, do I want to continue focusing on well, growth here by basically just establishing the colonial nations. I think I'm actually going to do that. The plan will be then to just establish the colonial nations and more or less allowing them to conquer/colonize on their own. I will of course also conquer, so to speak, from my enemies, of course, and hand the provinces over to them, or they'll be automatically handed, so that's not actually a problem. But all of that should actually be quite helpful, no matter how you slice it. So we'll probably do that. Probably colonize this area. I'll have to send troops here to make sure that, well, the colonizers doesn't actually, or natives doesn't rise up, but that should be fine. Also worth noting here that, as you can see, they're actually trying to get a pretty big army here, Aragon and Castile, with Naples and Milan helping them, so that's kind of scary. We'll have to see if we'll probably deal with that down the line, but as of now, I'm a little bit unsure how I would want to deal with that. I'm also improving relations currently with the French, of course, which is just so I can actually start the integration. It started with the current prestige losses and the weak air. I'm getting kind of worried here that I can't just rely on the France as a more or less manpower, well, backup base, so to speak. So I will have to integrate them to have better control of the manpower, over the troops, things like that. I should probably have started this process earlier, but I waited, and now I'm probably going to get to pay for that. But as I said, we will create the colonial nations that we can, and we'll probably then either conquer or, well, the more likely one will probably go ahead here and go after Africa. Just colonize down here, try and get ourselves to India pretty quickly. I will probably have to conquer everything over there myself, which of course will be a chore, but not really too much I can do about that at this stage. So we're going to have more or less, I think, either 4 or 5 theaters of potential warfare, depending of course on how things actually appear. So we'll have 2 colonizing theaters in Americas, and also of course Africa. We'll probably have 2 war areas, so to speak, in Asia with India, and to some degree Japan, I think. I'm a little bit unsure how I want to deal with that, but that's basically what we will probably have happen. Once again, the administrative pointer here is kind of a potential problem, to be perfectly honest. The fact that I need the admin points to actually just unlock ideas, and potentially I do want ideas from an admin tree. Could of course be it could be terrible. So we'll just have to keep on pressuring and doing what we can. But for now, I'll still wait for the calls to be constructed, and I think then we'll actually go for war here against Portugal. I'm a little bit unsure if I want to do that, but especially now that Castile and Aragon are starting to get strong, But I would definitely like to get Granada back here, somewhere or another. Possibly just taking Gibraltar. And I have no idea if I can actually vassalize Portugal. If I can, that would be great. But as I said, I do doubt that. But we're unfortunately out of time, so we'll figure that out next time. I'll still focus on getting France here annexed. We'll not be declaring war until these calls are done. That is a definite certainty, because I don't really want to get myself into a rebel issue. Of course, the other reason for not declaring war is, of course, the fact that we have a horrible amount of manpower. We are missing 18,000 men. It's going to take us 6 years to get that manpower back. I'm a little bit unsure here if France can actually deal with my my planned enemies here on their own. Check here, France has 44,000 men. I have 31,000. If we check here down the line, what will we find? Castile with 13? Not that much. So yeah, I think we can actually pull something off here, but even so, it's kind of a risky adventure. The only ally with Aragon and Castile. But of course, I'm pretty sure Castile would become war leader. Then we suddenly have to deal with Naples and Milan as well. If Aragon becomes war leader, we'd have to deal with Milan and the Pope. But it's still better than the alternatives. So I think we'll actually declare on Portugal and see how it goes. But we'll do that after the course is done, and we'll do it next time. Thank you for watching. Please have a comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and hopefully I'll see you around next time. Bye.